This is the ASUS Strix Go 2.4 wireless gaming headsets. Now, off the bat, the first thing I'm going to say is this is probably the most unassuming gaming headset to come out of ASUS in a long time, maybe ever. Now, when you think of ASUS products, whether it's ROG or Strix, they tend to be a bit flashy, a lot of RGB, a lot of sharp lines, and well, you do get the sharp lines here, but there is not a single RGB light, not even a single light, nothing. It's very, very unassuming, which is surprising, but yeah, I actually quite like it. It looks very sleek. I think it can be used by someone who isn't a gamer or someone who doesn't like the gaming aesthetic. Yeah, it's actually very, very cool looking. One thing I have to say I really like about this is over here, it's got metal accents here on the gaming headset, and that's actually the point at which this extends. So if you go here, it extends. It doesn't have the number allocation on it like you do in the Razer headset that I really like, but it's okay. I mean, it looks really nice, and it doesn't feel like a cheap metal. It looks really, really premium. And actually, speaking of premium, one thing I have to say, this gaming headset, it does feel very premium. Every plastic piece from the caps to the entire headset, everything feels really well built. Even this here, I'm not sure if it's leather. I kind of doubt it, but it feels really, really good. It's extremely comfortable. The ear cushions as well are really, really comfortable. Now, what makes this Strix headset really stand out is the fact that it actually doesn't use Bluetooth, even though it is wireless. It actually uses the 2.4 gigahertz range to connect to whatever device. Now, speaking on devices, it's got a wide range of compatibility. Now, obviously, it can connect to your computer, it can connect to your smartphone, it can even connect to your Switch, which is quite cool, because in terms of Switch, my understanding is there are not a lot of compatible ones, especially when you're talking about wireless. It connects to your PS4 and it also connects to your Xbox, but that one, I'll speak more about that later on. So looking at the controls that are on this headset, so you have your usual on-off switch, but this one is actually a bit more than that. If you switch it on, obviously it connects via your wireless dongle. If you switch it off, now you have the option to use the audio cable, the 3.5mm cable that comes with the headset. You can plug it in, because it's got a jack here, and you can plug it into your PC, to your phone if it has an audio jack and all that, to even your Xbox controller and all that, and I think the Switch as well. So that's pretty cool. So it gives you sort of like a backup in case you lose the battery or battery dies or something. You can just plug it in directly and you can still carry on gaming. Okay, you've also got a physical button here to, when you're playing the music, to press play, to skip the next track and all the kind of things, and obviously to answer phone calls as well. And you've got your volume rocker, and the volume rocker also doubles as a mute button. So if you can press up and down to control the volume, you can actually press the button and it will mute your microphone. Okay, and of course you've got your charging point here, and one thing great about it is that it is Type-C. Now, talking about what the headset comes with. Now, first of all, it comes with a really, really nice pouch, really solid. It's not one of those soft cases. Feels really good. Like everything else to do with this product, or a lot of ASUS products, everything feels really premium. On the inside, you have a USB cable, USB Type-C. So even charging is USB Type-C, and I'll talk more about the charging later on. Now, how it connects, all right? It actually connects with a Type-C adapter, which is really, really cool. My gaming PC actually has a Type-C port, so yeah, you can just plug it in on your smartphone. The majority of smartphones now use Type-C, so you can plug that in directly and you can use that straight away. Now, the question is, on your PC or laptop, whatever, if you don't have a Type-C connector, well, it also comes with a Type-C to USB-A adapter. And even this, it's not actually plastic. The black, like the cover around it, is metal. I am almost certain it's metal, and it is so solid. I really, really like this. Okay, so this gaming headset, in my opinion, really is built for the competitive gamer. In fact, I would recommend this for competitions, and I'll tell you why. Because, like I mentioned, it's got two microphones. So it's got one built in, and if you look, there's really small hole here. The built-in microphone is hidden somewhere inside. And then you've got this gooseneck one that you can connect in like this, all right? And you get an additional microphone. Now, what's the difference between the two? Now, the one that is here and the one that's here, they both have something that ASUS calls AI noise cancelling. I'm not going to go too much into that. But basically what they do is that this particular one cancels out a lot of ambient noise, like crazy amounts of ambient noise, and actually just plays the sound coming out. So, and actually is really quite incredible. Now, the one that is built in also has a similar noise cancelling feature, but the one with the external one right here is actually a lot more aggressive. So, okay, now the problem here is I want to showcase and I want to demonstrate how this mic works. But with the current lockdown, or in Singapore as we call it, circuit breaker, I can't really go out so much. So it's kind of hard to test it out. So I thought about it for a while. So what I'm going to do actually is I'm gonna play street sounds on YouTube, right? So I'm just gonna play it off my computer speakers, and then I'm gonna record my voice first with just this microphone to give you an idea of how noisy it actually is on a more neutral perspective. And then we will test it out with the hidden microphone and then the extended microphone. Okay, so I'm not sure if you can hear me right now. I'm playing street sounds on YouTube. Okay, so I'm just playing that right now, and the voice you're hearing now is coming from my microphone with this in the background. Okay, so what you're hearing right now is the microphone coming from the built-in microphone, the one that is hidden with the headset. It still does cancel the noise quite well, but you can still hear bits and pieces of the street noise. Okay, and now what you're hearing is the mic that's coming from this gooseneck, this attachment mic. Right now, the background noise is playing at the same level at all three of these settings. All right, so you can tell it's a lot more aggressive, but at the same time, you can also tell that it sacrificed some of the audio quality from this microphone, and I'm going to talk about that right now. So with the first one, you can see there's quite a fair bit of noise cancellation already. However, you can still hear a bit of the background noise, and then on the attachment, which is this one, the gooseneck microphone. It was almost gone. It was incredible. But I think you can tell already that there are some sacrifices. Now, I don't know how they do it. They call it AI noise cancelling. I'm almost certain there is some form of gating. Gating is an audio thing. I'm not going to talk about that right now. So it's definitely quite a bit of gating, compression and all that. And of course, noise cancelling in a sense of hearing what the noise is, cutting out the frequency. So if you look at if you listen to the audio from this, you can tell that the audio sounds very, very mid-rangey, almost walkie-talkie-ish, because it cuts out a lot of frequencies to remove as much of the background noise as possible. Which is why in the one with the built-in microphone, you can hear a bit more noise, but the microphone audio sounds a bit fuller. So yeah, automatically you can kind of tell what this was made for. Imagine if you're a pro gamer, and you're in a competition, right? You've got your headphones on, and there's an audience, a huge crowd of people, this add-in microphone would definitely cut out a lot of that ambient noise, and it would make it so much better for pro gamers. Now, obviously, majority of us that buy this aren't going to be pro gamers, but I mean, it's still really, really good to have if you're out on the road, if you're playing games with your friends and you're talking to them at the same time and you're in a really, really noisy environment. This really, really helps. So that's actually a really cool feature, and I don't think there are any other microphones, at least consumer-end microphones, that has this sort of, or this level of noise cancellation on their microphones. And of course, this headset is not perfect, far from it exactly. There are quite a couple of things that honestly for me is a bit of a deal breaker, unfortunately. The biggest thing is really the audio quality that's coming out of this. Now, when you listen to it, it doesn't sound bad in a sense. It sounds very mid-rangey for me personally, and I don't think that's because it's just really bad quality drivers. There are still good quality drivers, you can tell, because even in that mid-range frequency, there is quite a bit of clarity in it. So when you're playing like FPS games and all that, things like hearing gunshots and all that is really clear and really, really precise. Even bad headphones that are mid-rangey don't have that same kind of clarity. So yeah, I think it's basically a full-fledged gaming headset, as full-fledged as a gaming headset as I've ever seen. Now, the flip side of it is that when you listen to music and even like watching shows. Honestly, it is just plain not good enough. I really did not enjoy it at all, especially with music. It sounds very hollow. So the flip side of tuning something for gaming is that when it comes to music, it sounds quite hollow. And if it was just a little bit, I could more or less forgive it, but I really didn't like it for music. And for me, especially with my mobile phone, most of the time I'm either watching something or listening to something. I'm not a huge fan of playing mobile games other than Pokemon Go, but that's not really a game. That's just like a time waster thing. If you're like into PUBG or Mobile Legends or that sort of thing, that would be great for you. But when it comes to music and all that, I think it falls really, really short. Now, this headset, the ASUS Strix 2.4, is actually going for at least the retail price that ASUS is selling it is about 319 Singapore dollars, which is a pretty penny to pay for a headset. However, on Lazada, I've actually found a couple of sellers that are selling it quite a fair bit lower. So there's one guy selling it for like 275 Singapore dollars, another one 279. So if you do decide to get this headset, maybe you could look for these guys on Lazada. I'll put the link in the description below. But basically, ASUS, their own recommended retail price is about 319 Singapore dollars. Now, I'm not going to say this is a bad product, all right? Far from it, all right? I just think that it is very fine-tuned and very driven towards one very specific goal, which is gaming, all right? But if you're paying that amount of money for the average consumer, we would probably, or I would probably want something that's a bit more flexible, a bit more versatile. And for me, it's good for gaming, but when it comes to listening to music and all that, it doesn't quite hit the level that I would expect it to be at that price. Okay, so as usual, I'm going to talk about whether this is worthwhile buy or not. And I just want to emphasize again that I'm not saying this is a bad headset. In fact, I quite like it for the reasons that it was made and the way it was fine-tuned. I think it actually did a really good job there. But in terms of a gaming headset for the average consumer, I would actually give it a rating of about maybe 3 to 3.5. I have to make a decision, right? So I'll give it a 3.5 out of 5 stars because I cannot fault ASUS for building something with a very specific goal. And like I said, it does it really, really well. But for me, I want a headset that can work relatively well in a lot of different scenarios. And at $320, 320 Singapore dollars, I feel like it should. But I mean, like I said, with the gooseneck microphone and all this kind of things, a lot of research probably went into that. And in terms of noise cancelling, there is nothing on the market right now that even comes close to the microphone setup right here. Also, I mean, I don't think this was made for this particular scenario, but if you're working from home, and I'm gonna do actually a series of videos on working from home because of this situation now. But if let's say you do meetings, office meetings, and you're constantly on a call or constantly on a video meeting, but at the same time you're in a really noisy situation like your home, you've got kids, or there happens to be a really noisy road right outside your house like mine, which is why I shoot at night, this would actually be the best option for you because I mean there are a lot of corporate brands like Jabra and all, there are a lot of corporate models, but even then they don't do a good job at this. So that is one other feature that you can possibly think of when you decide to get this headset. So that about wraps up this review of the ASUS Strix Go 2.4 wireless. Now if you like this video, you know what to do, and I would love it if you would subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon to receive notifications on our next video. I'm JP, and I'll see you real soon.